It's season 17 of Apex Legends and you still have yet to drop your first 4K damage badge. I hope you guys know there's nothing wrong with that. But if dropping your first 4K damage badge is something that you really want, then this video was made exactly for you. For starters, excelling at anything you do in life has a lot to do with your mindset. To drop your first 4K damage game, you have to stop making excuses for yourself. And the biggest excuse for players as to why they have trouble dropping a 4,000 damage game, in their words, is because they can never find enough people. You don't need a lot of kills to drop a 4,000 damage game. In fact, I've done it many times with only 8 kills. People say you have to get lucky to drop a 4K game, and again, you're only making excuses for yourself. Instead, you should be thinking, am I being aggressive enough? Do I know when to pull out of a fight? Am I consistently hitting my shots? Do I waste little time looting? Am I finishing my fights quickly? And so when you look at it like that, you'll soon realize that you're the only person holding yourself back. And so I'll be giving you guys some commentary for this 5,000 damage game that I drop with Fuse, and with this commentary, you'll be able to see what goes on in my mind when I play a game like this. So you can pick out any patterns that I use, the reasoning behind my decision making, and by studying that as opposed to just watching the tips that every other YouTuber gives you, drop hot, hit your shots, farm damage, well, you'll simply get a lot more from it. So please let me know in the comments what you think is holding you back from dropping your first 4K game. And don't give me any excuses. Be critical of your own skill. And as always, please leave a like and sub. We're so close to 50,000. And without further ado, let's get it. Bam, 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 bam. I initially had this Wraith weak and she went to my left by herself. My teammate got a knock and I healed up, so I challenge her. And every time I'm able to, I always make sure to thirst. That's easy extra damage that counts for your 4K badge. But you never want to die for it. And as we finish this fight, let me give you guys some tips. A lot of you guys get tunnel vision when it comes to thirsting enemies. If it's safe, thirst. But if your teammates need help and it's taking you a long time to thirst, stop thirsting and go help. If you're trying to thirst for our armor swap but it's taking a long time, stop thirsting and heal up. If you're being pushed by an enemy, stop thirsting and fight them. It'll take some time to get used to your surroundings like that and being able to determine when and when you shouldn't thirst, but it's something to take note of. And here's a side note. Depending on your MMR, you might have better chances getting a 4K game in ranked as opposed to pubs. Pubs die out so quickly now. There aren't a lot of fighting opportunities. As you can see in this ranked game here, the lobby stays alive a lot longer than pubs do, sometimes. And a lot of your fights in ranked are going to be more long distance, which allows you to farm more damage. So if you're going for a 4K game, maybe try it out in ranked. Use some long range weapons to farm damage from afar and test your skill that way. So I have 700 damage with 38 people alive. Easy 4K opportunity. We pull up on this next team at the other side of Siphon. I hit Bangalore for 132 out of 175. She has minimal cover, so I utilize my abilities as they're designed. I get a lot of free damage using Fuse right here. And of course I thirst both of these kills. Massive damage. Exactly 1 minute later, I find a new team on the other side of Siphon. This lifeline is isolated and I recognize that, so I chow her. As she runs away, her Pathfinder holds an angle for her, and I crack him. Now I have 2 cracked on this team. They're weak. Don't know where the third is, so I'm looking for him, and I find him up top. As I'm healing up, I get longbow from the far right side of me. They're not a threat immediately right now, but I'm taking mental notes of that. There is another team in the area, and I can't forget about them. This could be hard for a lot of players to recognize. There's a third party nearby, so do I even bother fighting this team in front of me? The answer is, it depends. That team is sitting on the middle building in Siphon with snipers, a very passive team. They're probably not going to third, so I push the team in front of me. And even if they do third, I play accordingly. Push the doorway and get some shots in. Then I see a Fuse out of the corner of my left eye. I back up, switch my guns, and let the Fuse push me. I forced the Fuse to make a mistake. He vacated any cover that he may have had, and now he comes into my world where I'm ready and prepared to fight him. He wasn't. My teammate finishes the last guy off, and then a third party appears. But I was already ready for that, hence why I healed up instead of re-challenging when I was weak. And even though that third party pulled up, you'll find that a lot of these guys that strictly third party only do so if you get knocked. If you wipe a team really quick and all of your teammates are still alive and healthy, most third parties are going to run away. That's exactly what happens here. So you cannot be afraid of third parties. You'll notice when I'm dropping these 4K damage games, you need to be shooting everything. Be very trigger happy. You need high damage output in every fight that you get in. So however you guys can manage to do that, it needs to be done. This is why I quickly fly to the next team. I want a 4K damage game, so I'm not going to sit and waste any time. See enemies and I push. But I never do it stupidly. I treat every team as if they're a pro team. Don't underestimate your enemies. I push this catalyst door right here. All of a sudden 2 enemies walk right out. If I fight that, I am dead. So I don't bother and I immediately run away. I preserve my health and my life, and I heal up to re-engage. I utilize my Legends abilities to my advantage and attack this building from a different angle, which is what you should always be doing for building fights. New angles every time. Having good map awareness, I see the catalyst on this door, so I go around for the window and I get the knock. But this is not a thirstable opportunity. My teammate got knocked, so I need to go help him. I get another knock as they knock my horizon. The last guy they had was really weak, so I chow him and kill him. Making sure to always heal up if possible before I revive my teammates. If I can't heal up, then maybe I armor swap. I revive my teammate at the res beacon, we loot up, and I push the next fight. Because when you're trying to drop a 4K damage game, you need to be aggressive, and you need to be shooting your gun a lot. I have 2,000 damage now, and I fly to the middle building of Siphon to challenge this next team. I see my teammate challenging the Maggie that dropped from the roof, so I swing with him. I stack 2 guns on one guy, and I turn around and challenge a fuse. Most enemies always push from your flank side, so when you get a knock, you should always turn around immediately and cover your flank. I heal up, and then my teammates both get knocked by the ballistic, but I threw a knuckle cluster there. I do damage to him. He gets cracked. I locate him, and then I kill him. I cheese another 400 damage off of one team. I revive my teammates, and I'm looking for the next fight. Can't rely on enemies finding you. When you're trying to drop your first 4K damage game, you have to find the enemies, and I found them. Get some shots to the Wraith right here. I see the Bang running with her, and they drop to low ground and give me high ground on them. So I use my abilities as they're designed and try to get damage out of it. I get the Bang knocked, and I thirst her for extra damage and for an armor swap. I expected to take damage right there, and then I chow the last 2 guys. I don't care about getting kills. You'll see that I get yoinked a lot here, so when I'm trying to drop the 4K damage game, all I care about is doing maximum damage, and if they get the kills, whatever. Again, you don't need a lot of kills to get 4,000 damage. So I position myself accordingly to not take a lot of damage, which allows me to put a lot of damage onto the enemy first before my teammates do, and by the time they catch up, they yoink the kill, whatever. As long as you're doing about 100 damage to every enemy, and getting thirst, and being aggressive, dropping a 4K really shouldn't be an issue. So now I'm looking for the next fight. I have 3,000 damage, 5 squads alive. This is a guaranteed 4K for me. I use my abilities as they're designed, and I push up this rope and challenge this team, knowing I'm going to take damage. So I play right on the edge so I can still drop down to cover if need be. I do a lot of good damage and try to reach out, but I get cracked, so I stop and then I heal up. At the same time, I'm getting swung by another team, so now I'm forced to go back up top because this other team vacated it. I put so much pressure onto them, they got scared, and now I get a better spot. And I did a lot of damage to them, but now I can focus on the other team. My teammate ends up getting knocked. I have a good angle to watch over him, so I do exactly that. I get a lot of good extra damage onto the lobe. The lobe is now out of the fight. It's essentially 2v2. I'm going to end up using my ultimate so they can't push me, and then we revive. Yes, she's still alive. Yes, it's still a 3v2. But she is so weak that she has to take time out of that fight to heal up. And in those 5 seconds that she pops a battery, or 10 seconds that she pops a Phoenix kit, she's out of the fight. So I use that window of opportunity to revive my teammate. Because now the Loba's teammate have to watch over her so that she doesn't get knocked. Do you understand how simple the game is when I break it down like this? Most of it is just common sense and understanding. I wait until we all heal up and then I challenge them. I do a lot of damage to the Loba and I kill her. I do some damage to her teammate. My teammates now know where that enemy is. They're going to push him and I use that time to thirst and armor swap. I got the kill on the Wraith, locate the last guy. I do more damage and I crack him. Then I thirst the Wraith who wasn't even my kill. But that's an extra 100 damage and now I have 4,000. Even if you thirst a guy that was knocked by a completely different team, that 100 damage that you get from that still counts for your 4,000 damage badge. So thirst anybody in sight, but like I said, don't die for it. I then challenge the last guy who kind of shot me around the corner. I end up getting knocked, but I get some damage from my knuckle cluster and my teammates finish him off. It's okay for me to make a bonehead mistake right there when that team is so down bad and there's only one guy left. My 2 teammates are completely healthy. If my teammates were both weak, I would have taken time to heal up and then chowed the Watson. Because there's only one guy left and both my teammates are fully healthy, I can go be a bonehead and at least I get some extra damage from it. Moving on. I find out Octane ratting in here. Then I have my gun out, so notice how I go immediately back to the door for cover. Pull my gun out and then I re-challenged him. I got more damage, now he's out of the fight. Then push the next team. I see one guy to my left, 2 guys to my right that are being tunneled from the team above them. They have to be down bad. So I swing them. I get some beautiful damage off of them, end up knocking both of them. I thirst one for more damage and my teammate kills the last guy. Now my attention immediately goes to the team that's right next to us. I'm able to do 50 damage to the horizon and my teammate ends up knocking her. The Bangalore reveals herself and I one clip her. And in order to get this 5,000 damage game, I have to thirst her. So I do that and I get more damage. Now I know the last guy's a solo, so I'm trying to locate him as quickly as possible before my teammates do. I find him. I get the last damage that I needed for the 5,000 damage game. I didn't get the kill though, but I don't care. I got all the damage I needed. Kills do not matter when dropping your first 4,000 damage game. Focus more on angles and damage output as opposed to killing them off. You only really want to focus on kills if you're trying to get a 20 bomb. And this is why 4K games are so much easier. It's all in your control. With 20 bombs, there's a little luck involved. With 4K games, you don't need to find 20 people to get a 4K. You just need to do enough damage, and that's all in your hands. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is yet again another segment of Apex Legends University. If you enjoyed, then please hit that sub button, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam.